New Jersey has released a draft report on the inventory of emissions in the state that contribute to global warming. To cut carbon dioxide emissions, it could mean a change in what we drive. Environment correspondent Ed Rogers has the story.
It's called the ZEN for Zero Emissions, No Noise. There's only one car dealer in the state that sells this Canadian electric car. It costs from $14,000 to $18,000. Their top speed, 25 miles per hour. It can only be used on local roads.
They're capable of going on roads 35 miles per hour and less. You can't go down highways. You can cross the highway if you have to, but you just can't go down them. They get around 30 to 40 miles on a single charge.
This Hazlitt dealership says it sells between 40 and 50 of the vehicles a year. They can be charged at home. Using electric-powered vehicles has been lost in the discussion over finding cheaper, cleaner alternatives to gas. The focus has mostly been on using hybrid vehicles and ethanol. One possible drawback to electric vehicles, fossil fuels emitting CO2 have to be burnt to generate the electricity to charge the cars. But environmentalists believe it's an option in New Jersey.
The electric car was scrapped deliberately by General Motors and some of the big auto manufacturers at the time, but it makes a lot of sense, especially in a state like New Jersey where you can generate the electric power through relatively clean sources and even using solar technology.
It was last July that Governor Corzine signed New Jersey's Global Warming Response Act. Under the law, the state DEP is required to conduct an inventory of New Jersey's greenhouse gas sources and make recommendations to cut those emissions. The first draft of that inventory, released last month, found that cars, trucks, buses, and other forms of transportation were the largest contributor of greenhouse gases at 34%. The State Motor Vehicles Commission says it doesn't keep records on how many electric cars are used in the state. New Jersey's Global Warming Response Act requires the state to cut greenhouse gas emissions 80% by the year 2050. The DEP could call for issuing incentives for people to drive electric and hybrid cars when it makes its recommendations.
You can do anything from tax credits or no sales tax on those types of vehicles. They could also develop programs for fleets.
Ed Rogers, NJN News, Trenton.